So yeah, Josh, welcome to my house. It's Good Friday, so we were going to do just like viewing by appointment, but it's been really quiet this week and James is on holiday and I've lined up to do a video with this car trader who's like, he's just an absolute legend. On the forums, just his story, the story behind him, he's just like so inspirational. He's been doing it longer than me. I think he's been doing it about 15 years. He's younger than me. He's called Craig. This is his business. It's called C Cars of Derby. I don't know if he does a lot on his own now, but back in the day, he used to have like 40 cars and it'd be just him and maybe a valeter, and that was it, nothing else. At the minute now, I'm looking at the website and he's got 72 cars in stock, 72 cars online, so he might even have 80 cars around him at the minute, and he's built it all up just on his own. And I know you won't mind me saying this, I don't think he's used any stocking loans whatsoever. He's an absolute inspiration to me. Let's have a look what his most expensive stuff is. So he's got 73 vehicles in stock. Highest priced one, Range Rover Sport, 23 grand. But then it goes to a Polo at 17, Mercedes at 16. So it looks like the majority of his cars go up to about 15, 16 grand. And then his lowest, he's got stuff here like 1,500 quid, 2 grand. So, you know, he's stocking stuff from 2 grand to 15 grand. And that must be his sweet spot. So it's going to be really interesting to go and meet him, hear his story, see how he got started, see how he's built it up to this amount of cars. We'll try and work out how much stock he's worth at the minute as well. So and see how much he started off with. So it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm like really excited. What he says all the time in the forums is really good advice as well. He's really intelligent. And he's just totally on the ball. He's like an OG car trader. That's what I think. So that's it. But you're here in my house, so I might as well like show you around my house, right? Well, the kitchen. I'll show you around the kitchen. Because in here, this is my pride and joy. Me decks. So this is where the magic happens. This is where we do all the. So these are all my vinyls from when I was young. I have actually got shitloads of other vinyls in Mallorca with my friend Kev, if he's watching this. So little story behind my garden. So the reason I bought this house is because it had such a big garden. So with my ex-wife, when this house came up for sale, I was like, Steph, we need to buy this house because the garden is massive, and the garden didn't look like that before. It was all full of shrubs and it was overgrown. I said, Steph, if we buy this, we can get rid of all the shrubs and stuff. We can flatten it out with gravel and we can get 10 cars at the back of there. So that was my idea, to get 10 cars at the back and sell from home. We got to remember, this is when I first started and I only had 3 or 4 cars, and we lived on it was like a terraced house, semi-detached house on a little road. So when this come up, I was so focused on getting 10 cars in stock, and that is why we bought this house. So we moved in here, and the day we moved in, the lads that moved in the old house, they rang me and they were like, Dave, the alarm's going off and we don't know what to do, we don't know the code. And I was like, bloody hell, I don't know the code as well. Let me ring the builder who built the houses. So I rings Roger Garnett. I'm like, now then, Roger, what's the code for the alarm system? He's like, oh, it's da-da-da-da-da. He's like, why do you need the alarm code? And I said, look, I've moved house because I wanted to get somewhere with a bit of land so I can like put cars on, because I'm selling cars now. And he's like, what the bloody hell do you want to do that for? I was like, well, you know, I just need to get 10 cars. He's like, I've got a car pitch that's up for rent. Why don't you rent it off me? And I'm like, well, how much do you want? He's like, just give me 300 quid. I'm like, oh, all right, then I'll have it. And anyhow, this pitch could fit on 20 cars. So it was unbelievable. So moving to this house was probably one of the best things ever, because that phone call, that serendipitous moment happened with Roger Garnett, and I had that car pitch, and then I didn't have to sell cars from the garden, because looking at it right now, I mean, this is just a normal street, it's nothing flash. All the neighbours would have like kicked off big time about me having like 10 cars in the back, starting the engine up, you know what I mean, and flipping just cars hanging about everywhere. The neighbours would not have liked it at all, but I was so focused on getting 10 cars. Yeah, that's the little story behind this house and why it was so good for getting to where I am now. What else? And then I've just got this little thing I want to show you. So I always say as well, everyone should have goals and stuff. I followed this bloke on YouTube called James Sinclair, and he said, I signed up to his bloody course and that, and he's like, right, you've got these goals, you've got to work out your turnover, your profit, your stock and your team and all this. So these are my goals in 21, 22, and everyone should do this if you're just starting out. So my aim was 250 grand a month. I wanted to average sell 25 cars a month, 3 million turnover for the year. And that year, I'd done that. So profit, I wanted to have 3 million turnover, 5% net profit, which was hopefully going to be 150k. It wasn't 150k, but it was still a good profit. And then stock, constant 50 in stock, constant 40 advertised, as average customer value 10,000. And I hit that 2022. 1 part-time salesman, 1 full-time valeter, 1 part-time valeter, 2 admin, and me. Well, that's a bit different. So I've got a full-time salesman, I've got a full-time valeter, I have got part-time on because Craig comes in at the weekend, and I have actually got 2 admin staff. I've got Kel, who does all the oh God, what do you call it? She just like tots everything up every week, and then I've got Kirsty, who does the bookkeeping every month and tells us our profit and loss at the end of every month. So that, I put that up there in, I don't know, it was probably September 2021, and I hit it, I done it. So it was really good having these like vision boards. I know it sounds a bit like preachy and like whatever, but they do the work. So we're going to get our shoes on and we're going to go and see Craig. All right. Do you want me to do this or not? Yeah. Do you know, you're recording. Yeah. Right. Do you know what? I've just remembered something, and I've kept this very, very, very quiet, because it's not that I'm embarrassed about it. It was a fantastic time of my life, but it's just something that I don't mention a lot of times because I look like an absolute donut. But back in, when was it? 2005. This is 2005, but I made this song in 2005 with my mate Wee Philly. Have a look at him on YouTube, he's hilarious, he's like a comedian. So there was me DJing in BCM, there was Wee Philly, who I knew from DJing in like the northeast, and there was this song we used to do a dance to at the end of every night. We used to do this like cheesy club, and I was like, Phil, that song needs a remix. It was originally done by Todd Rundgren called Bang on the Drum. I said, we need to remix that. We'll do it in Magaluf, and it'll be like a dance craze. It's going to be like the cha-cha slide. It's going to be like DJ Otzi, hey baby. So it was Wee Philly and DJ Gotti, and it was called Bang on the Drum. And this is it. And it actually got signed up to Absolution Records, which was Mark Smith, who was from Jive Bunny, and he remixed it for us. Wee Philly singing on it, and I'm just acting like an absolute clown on it. And that video's on YouTube if you want to have a look at it. I will not be mentioning this ever again. This is the first and last time. All right.
And left.
Forgot it. Here we go. Yeah. We're here, we've landed at the legendary Sea Cars.
Secondary time you've been as well, if you remember.
Yeah, mate, the last time I was here was about 8 years ago.
Knock on the
10
door.
years
Who's
ago.
this here early? And it was you outside.
Yeah.
I want to see how you do it. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's right.
It's true.
That's right. I came to see it 10 years ago because we were on the, well, you still are, we're on the forums, weren't we?
Yeah. Different forums have changed now, but yeah, the forums were really good then, weren't they?
Yeah, they were brilliant. And you used to post loads of stuff, like really good posts. And I thought, he's got his head in the game. And just one day I popped down here and you're in the office and we just started talking, didn't we? And
I normally get pissed off when people come early. I don't know who they are, but it's all right. When it was you, it was all right.
Yeah, my northeast accent.
That was fine, yeah. No. A long time ago. Time flies, doesn't it?
It was. And like to see where we've both come, we've both done really well. But for me, like honestly, mate, I look up to you so much for everything what you've done. Seriously, I'm not joking.
You must be mad.
No, seriously, because like I don't think you'll mind me saying this, but you haven't used stocking loans or anything like that.
No.
Really?
Well, actually, funny enough, been offered I might be taking my first one out now, but I've never borrowed a pound. I've borrowed off the bank a little bit, not a lot, but everything else has just been selling cars.
And how much
putting it
did
back
you
in.
start off with?
Originally, we started off with £28,000, I think.
And if you don't mind me asking, how much you think it's worth now?
In the region of 800, I would say.
800 grand.
I would say,
so 28 grand to 800. That's just.
But that's took a long time.
Unbelievable. Not really. 15 years.
Well, at C-Car, 13 years all in. Yeah, 13 years all in. C-Cars here in about 9 years. But the thing is, what I have to remember, I don't take I'm not driving Range Rovers, as you know. I don't live in a 9-bed house, but I do like to go on, the odd drinking session, the odd concert. I like to go out all day Sundays sometimes. So I do, I don't not spend money. So
yeah,
I have lived in that time. So yeah, you're right. Probably not too.
But you are like the perfect example of keep the cash flowing to keep the business growing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I found with you. You've just constantly turned the cars over.
I never stop. And also, there's been months and period of more than months where I have had to live off, say, 800 quid a month,
Yeah.
Because you had to. When we started, it was all the time. And then you get to a point where you can start paying yourself a little bit more. But yeah, you have tough, we've just said this morning, haven't we? Both had a tough start to this month with all these cars we've got. It does happen still, so...
As well, me and you, we're both not car guys, are we?
I hate cars.
Yeah.
The only person I know who hates cars more than me is you. I can't stand it.
That's it. We hate them. But we love doing the deals, don't we?
Doing deals always keeps you going. It is the best part of the job. If you can come in and smash 3 or 4 out, you can't not be happy at that, can you?
Exactly.
But the worst thing is when someone knows what you do in the pub and you're into cars. I've got this.
I shy away from it.
My car goes this. It's V8, 160,000 bhp. I don't care. I'm not bothered. I don't know.
I'm exactly
can't
the
stand
same.
it. I can't
I'm
stand
exactly the same. Like, my mind's buzzing here. How the bloody hell do you get all these cars out? So if someone turns up now and they go, I want to look at that Alpha.
I wish somebody would turn up and say they want to look at that Alpha. That's why it's in the corner. You have to remember, we choose to run from this unit.
Yeah.
We've got another 20 odd cars off site, 25 cars parked off site. So sometimes, like this morning, we've come in early on a bank holiday and we've fetched a car back for a viewing and the guy said he wants to let us know. He knows we've had to run around this morning and he knows we've come in early. But there's no point in me getting angry at him because we choose to have the off-site compound. He knew we've got an off-site compound and I wish he was a bit more serious. But that's
you can't control that.
No, I can't. So we've got Ash here now who we've had him 3 or 4 months, 5 months, October. And 2 hours a day we do spend realistically just moving cars around.
Yeah.
Whether it be in here or from compound to compound. So we've got a Nissan Duke appointment this afternoon. We've been and fetched that yesterday. We've had it valeted this morning, so it'll be ready to view as if it had been sat here.
Yeah.
All week.
And where will you put the car for viewing? Will you just stick it out at the front?
Maybe I prefer the customers to view them inside. I think they look better, but the customers occasionally want to view them outside, natural light, which is fine. It's up to the customer really. If they're going to test drive it, you may as well leave it at the front. It's not the end of the world. Is it? If it rains, it's just whether it rains, isn't it?
And to move all these out of the way then?
I could probably get that one out on my own in about half an hour, I would say.
Half an hour?
Ash, with us together, we could probably do it in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's only 7 cars, it's not actually that bad. This row will be out in 3 minutes.
So you've got somewhere to take them to?
Well, we're lucky on this business park.
Because on mine it's like a main road, so we've got nowhere to really put
in the week it's a bit more tricky because we've got to be respectful of the other businesses. There's other businesses on here. We can't block all their entrances and all that stuff. But today, bank holiday, there's probably 2 businesses open out of 20 on here, so we've got all the space we want, to be honest.
It's all right.
We've got Death Row out there as well. We'll
Death
take
Row.
you there. We'll take you up there.
We definitely want to see Death Row.
You can have your last meal up there.
That'll make me feel better about my Death Row. So, I know people are going to be watching this and going to be like, bloody hell, 70 cars. We've got Craig here, you've got your valeter, and then who else have you got working for you?
We do valeting now, we do off-site, so I don't do any valeting on-site. I know when you turned up we were hoovering one, but that's only because we've got a viewing on it this morning. It's got a few bits of dust. So valeting's all done by the Best Hand Car Wash, which is a lovely guys, your typical local car wash.
Oh, so you subbed that out?
We've subbed that out now, which is different, isn't it, from you?
Yeah.
But it's more space for anything, and it actually worked out. I think they charge £15 or £17 for an overall valet. Well, I can't have a bloke on an hour. What's minimum wage these days anyway?
Yeah.
And then by the time you've bought all the chemicals, the wheel acid, even the sponges and the buckets, all they get smashed all the time, don't they? And the spray bottles, which last about
it's a bargain, isn't it?
Yeah, you may as well just get it done there. And also, works for me because I keep 2 cars at the valeters all the time.
So you've got space.
So it's 2 extra spaces.
Yeah.
So I've got one there now. I told you we're going to buy a car off a customer in half an hour. I will then take that down to the valeters today, pick one up that was done yesterday, and that one will now sit there until Tuesday. So it's an extra space.
Yeah, space for free.
It's perfect, really, yeah. And they like it because I'm not putting pressure on them all the time. When's it ready?
Yeah.
We just keep continuously swapping them over.
Yeah. And have you got any other salespeople then?
I've got 2 office staff, but they work 3 days each now. So they answer the phone, deal with everything that side. If there's anything slightly complicated or whatever, I don't mind dealing with it, but I try and stay off the phones now if I can.
Right. But you deal with the customers when they get here?
I will do if I need to, yeah. I think the more, there's always a tricky customer, they've got to be honest. There's always a tricky customer who wants to ask technical questions or perhaps try and catch you out over something. I'll deal with that. But
or if not, you let the 2 ladies
deal
with them. Yeah.
I think it's quite nice, to be honest.
Yeah.
Quite nice.
Definitely.
And we've had I must say, one thing I did notice, with them answering the phone, we saw quite a big upturn in remote sales and people buying over the phone, almost like they weren't being pressured. They weren't.
Yeah.
I think they're quite refreshing, and you do get the old kind of stick in the mud, old-fashioned person as well. I'm not talking to a woman about cars and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Few and far between now, though, isn't it?
Maybe 1 in 50. So are they going to buy a car anyway? That type of person, probably not. That is refreshing. That actually, But no, that was well.
A woman at the end of the phone. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, that's really good.
Depends how many people we're getting down a day. I mean, we've done 2 invoice requests this morning, finance deals if you like. We won't meet the customer, so that could be 2 sales today where it's just admin, isn't it? Really, it's not really the old-fashioned selling.
Well, that is what bugs me. James, my salesman, he's on holiday, and this week all I've done is admin. You're just on the computer all day, just writing out invoice requests, doing finance proposals.
It's not the glamorous showing someone around a Porsche that you have in your head when you start the job, is it? That's just not that.
No, that's so true. So, that's the main thing. And
but you have to. Going back to this, so we could have an invoice request for this car, let's say, and this sells, couldn't it? This could sell online, this Alpha. Well, then we've got 3 days to get it out.
Yeah.
Whereas in the old days, someone could turn up now, out the blue for a test drive, which you don't really want, do you? We want people to communicate.
Do you do viewing by appointment mainly?
No, we have our opening hours, but I only open 10 till 4 every day. Apart from so
it's like viewing 10 till 4.
10 till 4, come down.
Yeah.
But if you come on that Alpha and we're really busy and you've not told us you come in, you might have to come back tomorrow for a test drive.
Yeah.
If we can get it out for your course, we're not going to put an obstacle in the way. But if we're super busy or we've got, me and Ash might be going to pick a car up from Leicester.
Yeah.
Well, then we can't get that out, can we? So you're going to have to wait.
I suppose if people turn up and they see it like this, they're a bit more like, oh God, I understand.
Well, you'd think
I'll
so, but you still get people. I remember once I came in on a Sunday, there was a Range Rover Evoque parked there, a white one. And I made this Sunday appointment, and they were seemed quite keen. They test drove it, I love it, but we really wanted one with a sunroof. And I said, didn't have a sunroof 35 minutes ago. We've got a load of cars out in the rain. I was starving hungry as well, which is my problem. But
so then you're a bit touchy.
I know, and it's just, it's a waste of time, but it's a waste of their time. It didn't have a sunroof in the advert. It didn't have a sunroof when you turned up. It won't have a sunroof next week.
Exactly.
But anyway,
This is what I wanted to ask you as well.
It's a personal question.
No, it's not a personal question. Like, last year you were selling more expensive stuff, weren't you? So in your head, because this is what I'm battling with in my head at the minute, because we've got a lot more expensive stuff and it's sticking around.
What we're classing is 15 grand or so or more.
Well, at the minute we've got like 25 grand stuff. We've
I've
got
not really
18,
built.
19 plate stuff, and we've only sold, if I'm being honest, I've sold 15 cars this month, and 4 of them were trade. So we've sold 11.
See, that's not
out
enough.
of 40.
I can't manage
It's stressing me out.
with the bid. I think
So in
that-
my head, I'm thinking, shall I go back down to everything up to 15 grand?
I don't think you've got to say anything. I don't think you can say. Put it this way: I can't sell a 15 grand Megane. I can't sell it.
No,
It should be at Renault. It should be at Motorpoint. It should be at Available Car. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I can sell a 15 grand Audi or a 15 grand Range Rover.
So
but
true,
that's
yeah.
because Range Rover aren't selling 15 grand Range Rovers.
No, they're not,
So
yeah.
there's a market for that, and you're open to it. I can't sell a 12 grand Fiesta. It just won't sell.
Yeah, same. This is what's happening with
So
me
what
at
you
the
need
minute.
to get is you need to work out. You need your 8 grand Fiestas, your 10 grand Audi A1s,
Yeah.
and then we've got a couple of Range Rovers in at 15 and 20. They will sell.
Yeah,
But
see,
if that
price
was a
range.
Focus 6 months old with 6,000 miles, I can't sell it.
Yeah.
It won't sell.
But
From
I,
here,
I can sell them, but it's a struggle.
but there's no
The,
inquiry.
the foam doesn't melt. Do you know what I
The
mean?
problem is, say if you got a Focus, whatever I don't know, it's a 1 litre Focus now, blue, 22 plate, say.
Yeah,
You've got one in stock, a blue one. That's it. But Available Car, I've got every colour, every interior, probably whether it's got sat nav and all that stuff, all the different specs. We can't do that because we haven't got enough space. And also, we wouldn't want 9 Focuses, would we?
no.
So we can't really compete. Them cars, in my opinion, should just be traded out of. That's the way I look at it. If I get anything I think's a bit too
You're right.
we've got in
Supermarket fodder.
the most mint car we've got in here at the moment is an automatic Polo. Yeah, give me 5 minutes, I'll be with you. Or 2 minutes even. And we've got an automatic 20 plate Polo. DSG, R-Line, so it's proper good spec, black,
Yeah.
20,000 miles. I cannot sell this car. But it's
Yeah.
worth £16,000.
Yeah.
I can't sell a 16,000. No one comes here. They want the people who've got £16,000 to spend on a Polo will go to Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Or
I
get
know.
they just
I
won't.
know.
They won't come
No,
here.
it's-
So what do
yeah.
I do with the car? What I could probably do though is trade it onto Volkswagen, who could then sell it for £1,000 more than me, probably.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's what we need to do.
See, with me, what I got fed up with doing was selling the cheaper cars and having all these problems.
Well,
so then
well-
I thought, right, I'm going to buy newer cars, less problems, but the wheels aren't turning as
Yeah, well, the
quick.
wheels will never turn as quick. The way I look at it is, if I sell 10 older cars and take 10 profits out of it, I might have 2 more problems, but I've still got 10 more profits to deal with.
Yeah.
2 more problems. It's
Yeah.
not nice, and especially the cost now. A clutch goes £1,000, you've made nothing.
Yeah.
You know, AdBlue now on some of these 15 and 16 plate diesels. AdBlue pump goes, what's that, 800 quid maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
You've made nothing. You know, you're constantly worried that you're going to make nothing, but you are going to turn more cars. So I think it works to do it that way.
And you're keeping the
Well, we need money to
keep
come in
it
all the time
flowing,
because the bills
aren't
are so high, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll go on to problems once I've sorted these
Yeah.
out.
Do you want
'cause
to
that's
sort
a
them
big-
out now, mate?
Well, I
Yeah.
think I
Yeah,
better.
you've sorted
or
that
you're going to
bit.
get me a bad review.
yeah. Yeah. No, that's great.